I've got it. Oh dear. So, welcome everyone. My name is Emily, and today we are just going to settle into our space, just settle into our bodies, just position yourself in any way that feels right for you, whether you're seated or laying down. And we're just gonna put all of our worries and fears and angers or anything that we don't want to carry into this giant worry bowl. It's big enough, it can take it. So you can place your hands across your chest if you like and begin that bilateral tapping, just sending through the calming signal to your nervous system, to your amygdala. It's up to you whether you'd like to sway or stay still, whether your eyes are open or you're closed. And let's just take a few deep breaths, breathing in through the nose, filling up your belly. And a big sigh on each exhale, just going at your own pace. And just bringing to the forefront of your mind those things that might be concerning you, those things that you want to let go of, even if just for this time that we have together. And see if you can express them from your mind, from your body, maybe through sound, words. Maybe you want to fart them out. Whatever way you'd like to get them out of you, go ahead. You can imagine them coming out of you. You can keep on doing those nice deep breaths and sigh these things out if you like. And perhaps using each exhale as an invitation to let go of a little tension in the body as well as you release these things from your mind. So maybe starting at the bottom and releasing any tension in your lower limbs, in your feet, ankles, calves, knees, thighs. Just letting it go as you let go of that breath. And then on the next exhale, just moving slightly further up the body and letting go of the tension in your stomach, in your lower back, in your chest, in your shoulders. Just relaxing a little more, settling into the space, settling into your body. And just letting go of any tension in your neck and shoulders, in your arms, in your face. Just allowing yourself to soften. And if there's anything left that you want to express and put in the worry bowl, you have a few seconds now to do it. Before we pop that out of sight, out of mind. And if you want anything back at the end, just let me know. Now, we have gotten rid of what's at the forefront of our mind. Let's give our subconscious mind permission to let go as well. So you can repeat after me, saying out loud, I give my subconscious mind permission to release my worries and fears now. And having given that permission, we're just going to tap all the way through our body and see if we can shift anything our subconscious mind was holding on to. So just beginning with those slightly cupped hands on your lower belly, tapping your way from here, all the way up onto your chest, and tapping your way down one arm, all the way down. And as always, building up some happy seal energy. Big points for anyone who outdoes me with a ridiculous smile. Yeah! Round of applause for us all. And then tapping your way back up. All the way. Giving yourself a big pat on the back for showing up for yourself in this way. Then tapping your way over the other side. And coming down this arm. Again, the opportunity to be a bit silly with me. And tapping your way back up for another big pat on the back, because let's face it, it is challenging to show up for ourselves sometimes. And gentle raindrops down the center of our face. And another row, just really tuning into that sensation. seeing if there's any more that you can soften in your expression. And gentle fists over the top of your head, or maybe just running your hands through your hair, whichever you prefer. And slightly further out, down and around. And another row. And we'll find our kidneys, give ourselves a pat on the lower back, and tap our way down. And coming all the way back up. And just resting in with your hands on your belly, trusting whichever one wants to go first, and closing your eyes down for a moment. We're going to return to a few really conscious and aware breaths. Just really taking notice of what it feels like to be in your body today, in this moment. Noticing what that tapping has done for the sensations on the walls of your skin. Maybe really tuning into where you end and the world around you begins. Maybe you're noticing some emotions coming up, or maybe some things settling for you emotionally. And just take a moment to tune into the thoughts that might be moving through your mind. And just notice, without any judgment, the type of thoughts that you're having and the pace at which they're moving through your mind. Are they getting stuck there and swirling around, or are they coming in and going out? Just really noticing your internal world for a moment. Noticing where you might still be holding tension. Noticing if there's any places of ease. Any places that are calling for a bit of movement, a bit of love and attention. And let's all take a nice deep breath in together, breathing in through the nose, filling up your belly, and then we're going to pause at the top of that breath. And then a big long exhale. And we're just going to shake off anything else that needs to come out, anything else that we're storing. So if you want, you can stand up and jump up and really give yourself a good shake, or maybe you just want to stay seated, maybe shifting your arms around, twisting a little bit, just shifting and getting rid of anything, dislodging any stuckness, any stuck energy. So in any way that feels right for you. And you can continue on with that if it feels good, or otherwise just bringing yourself back to more stillness and just gently starting to begin that movement of your spine. So gentle sway, imagining that you are bamboo. And your bamboo might sway a little further in the wind. And as we sway, I want you to you might like to close your eyes down and just picture that you are bamboo and it's been snowing on you all winter. That snow might have been feeling really heavy and causing you to sort of fall to one side, and it's been weighing you down. And now as springtime comes, that snow just melts away and you've got that buoyancy back. And then compare that to what happens when the trees are really strong but brittle, when the snow falls on, let's say, a pine tree, and the branches break because they don't flex like the bamboo, they don't bend, they don't sway. And so there's this beauty in the softness, in the flexibility. We can draw upon this inspiration from nature, this knowledge, this wiseness. And if you like, you can take your movements, take your bamboo forwards and backwards, just gently swaying, just moving, becoming a little more flexible each time. Just tuning into that movement, just noticing the parts of you that come to life, the parts of you that engage and disengage, that contract and let go. And you might start to even begin a little bit of free-flowing movement now, and maybe you're taking your body around in circles or figures of 8, or maybe you're dropping a shoulder at a time. There's no right way, there's no wrong way to explore the movement in your body. Just start to feel for where your body wants to take you. And you might like to bring your arms into it. And for anyone who is seated, you might even like to bring your legs into it and just move around, perhaps even imagining that you're treading water. And maybe even closing your eyes down and really feeling into what that might feel like. And you can probably do the same thing from seated, just moving your feet around a little bit and just moving your arms in such a way that allows you to really imagine what it would feel like to be weightless in this moment, to be submerged in the cool freshness of whatever your favorite body of water might be. And allowing yourself to be as fluid as water, just flowing in your movements, exploring where you'd like to go. Not worrying about how it looks, not worrying about anything but the pure exploration of fluid movement. You might like to add another practice to this one and just hum on each exhale. So go ahead and gather up some air and then hum as you let that air out of your body, just allowing for that stimulation of your vagus nerve as you explore some movement in your body. You might like to isolate one part of you and move just that area, and then move another part. You might like to continue with continuous fluid movement throughout. Just connecting in with how it feels to move and wake up your body gently and slowly. And when you feel ready, you can bring that movement back to stillness in the center. And we'll just bring our feet to meet in the middle. For those of you who are seated on a mat, just hold on to your ankles for a moment, stretching up nice and tall and just taking a few deep breaths here. And for anyone who's seated, we'll just recreate the same type of opening in our hips and just leaning into that again, just elongating your center, your spine, and just breathing nice and deep into the center of you. And just enjoying another peaceful moment of stillness here. And if you like, you can move, maybe walking your body forward with your hands, really opening up that stretch, breathing through any sensations that might arise, breathing through any emotions that come up. Just allowing these things to move through you. If there's any pain, just back it off a little bit. And for anyone who is seated, maybe just experimenting with a similar motion, just shifting forward ever so slightly, or maybe you're shifting to one side, maybe the other side. Just exploring how that stretch can change and how that change feels. And then when you're ready, once your body signals to you it's had enough, you can just bring yourself back to center. I'm going to tuck one of our feet in, we'll stretch out the other leg. Doesn't matter if it's not straight. And we'll just hold it there for a moment if you can, stretching up nice and tall. Big inhale here. And twisting over towards that leg and just stretching out as far as you can. And perhaps using each exhale as an invitation to go a little further. Doesn't matter if you can't touch your feet. We're not here to be doing perfect. We're here to practice. And anyone who is seated, just creating a similar stretch with one leg out. You can just lean down towards it if you can, reach up beforehand. And just ensuring that you are sturdy and steady in your seat. And again, just feeling for those sensations of your body, those messages and signals when your body's telling you it's had enough. It will be at a different time for each of us. And once you feel it, just bring yourself back to center. Make any micro adjustments you might need to make there before we stretch it out on the other side. Just repeating that same motion, stretching up nice and tall, deep breath. And leaning out. If you've got a plant or a pet, you might like to pat it. Just connecting in with whatever's around you. And using those breaths of yours to see if you can take that stretch a little further. And listening for those signals as you hear them, feel them. Bring yourself back to center. And just coming back to your seated position, we're going to just connect in a little bit, finding the tension in our neck and shoulders, just massaging here. And if you're holding tension in some other area, then feel free to go to that area instead. I know for many of us, the neck and shoulders is where it's at, where the tension party is being held. And so you might like to explore some movement here as you massage around. Maybe taking your head around in some moon shapes. And whenever your hands are getting tired, then just relax and let them go. We'll clasp them together in front of us and then press out and away from our body. We're going to stretch out our shoulder blades here. And just twist your body from one side to the other. Just going at your own pace, just exploring how it feels to stretch out your back and your shoulder blades at the same time. And then when you're ready, just coming back to center, we're going to take that same stretch up overhead. Really stretch up tall, elongate your spine as much as you possibly can. And then if you like, you can take it over for a side lean, just holding that elongation of your spine, but taking it to one side. And just doing another little interception exercise where we sit with the sensations in our body, noticing when it's signaling to us to come back. Maybe some heat, maybe some shakiness. Once you feel your body's signals, just bring yourself back to center. You might like to stretch up a little taller and then take it over the other side and just notice, does it feel the same? Or does it feel different on this side? Do the signals start sooner or later? And once you feel them, just bring yourself back to center. And we're going to let go of our hands and imagine that above your head you're holding a big beach ball. And we're just going to circle that around us, take that beach ball around the world. Just building some core strength, circling it around one way and then taking it back around the other. Just feeling your core engaging, strengthening. That stability of your center building as you use those muscles. And when you're ready, just clasping your hands back together, we're going to bring them back down behind our head. Bring your elbows back as much as you possibly can. Open up your chest. And if you like, you can just do a little bit of twisting motion here. So just twisting your body from side to side. Just going at your own pace. And then you might like to try taking your elbow forward and down towards one knee. And then bringing it back, and then on the other side. And you can go as quick or as slow as you like with these movements. You might like to follow your breath, exhaling as you move forward, inhaling, coming back. And you might like to also try bringing your knee up to meet your elbow. And just notice the different muscles that get used when you do this motion slightly differently from when you're leaning forward. Perhaps you're using more of your back muscles. And then compare that to when you're bringing your knee towards you, and notice that you're engaging some muscles from the side and from the front. Just really noticing what parts of you come to life. And if your body's saying it's had enough, then you can just relax your hands, bring them maybe spirit finger your way down, and then clasp them back behind you, maybe straightening, strengthening, straightening, doing whatever you like with your arms. And then if you want, you can twist a little bit here as well, just exploring a little bit of motion. Maybe you'd like to lean yourself forward, pull your arms away, however you'd like to be in this position. And just relaxing, letting go of that as well. Whenever you're ready, and just making any little movements, any adjustments that you might need to make. And we're just going to connect in with our face a little bit now. So just taking any worry from our forehead, any worry out of our expression, just shifting it downwards off your face, pinching your eyebrow when you get there. Just allowing yourself another moment of relative stillness as you connect in with your body. And once you've pinched all the way along your eyebrows, just painting a nice soft line on your eyelids. And imagine that you're painting a rainbow up your face. Each time, just taking it in another little small increment, imagining each color, pressing a little firmer on the forehead, making your way all the way up to your hairline, and coming down to your temples, massaging in here if that feels good. And coming down to find that joint in your jaw, let your mouth fall softly open. And just exploring here, finding any tense areas. And you might like to just position your hands in this direction, pressing into that sort of crevice of your jaw. Allow your mouth to fall open a little bit. And just move your head from side to side gently so that there's a bit of massaging motion from your fingers along that area in your jaw. Pretending maybe that you're one of those clowns at the rodeo thing. Is it a rodeo? I don't know. My brain's still waking up. Anyway, look as ridiculous as you can. Just exploring any tension there. And you might like to explore it just through movement and smooshing those cheeks. Maybe opening and closing your mouth as you move around, just noticing where you're storing some tension here. We store a lot in our hips and we store a lot in our jaw. Maybe you're a teeth grinder, clencher during the night. It can contribute to lots of headaches, as I have experienced. So just releasing anything there before moving on and exploring other parts of your face, maybe massaging your nose, around, above, below, and your chin. Your jawline perhaps moving up there over to your ears, just massaging your ears, exploring all those nooks and crannies. And perhaps massaging in front and behind your ears before taking your attention down either side of your neck and just massaging that vagus nerve from the outside. Sending some love and attention here. And then perhaps taking that attention up into the back of your head, just searching out any areas of tension that might be held up in here at the base of your neck, base of your head. And just massaging all through your scalp. Scalp. My wordsing is so great today. And just tuning into the sensations there underneath your fingers, but also noticing what else comes to life in your body. And when you're ready to move on, you can just position yourself lengthways along the mat. If you are on a mat, we're just going to lean our body back gently, just waiting for the front of you to engage, to hold you there. Maybe you want to lift your feet up as well, maybe even pedal through. And just hold, feeling for those sensations, your body when it's telling you to relax back, and then you can just lower yourself down. And anyone who's practicing from the seat, just creating that same engagement of your core, just leaning your body back. And then for those who are seated, once you feel your body's had enough, just taking your body forward and leaning forward until you feel your muscles at the back engage. And for those who are on the mat, then once you are down with your back flat against it, see if you'd like to lift your buttocks up, creating a nice line from knee to shoulder. And just hold for as long as you feel is good for your body. Again, listening to those signals and signs that it's had enough. And so for anyone who's in the chair, just transitioning between that forward and backwards lean. And anyone who's on the mat, just holding yourself in this position before lowering yourself for a rest. And then raising yourself back up again. And you might like to also try placing your feet together, having your knees out wide, and then lifting yourself up there, creating a bit more instability, so your body has to work harder to hold you there. And it can create some shakiness, but it's really good for relaxing, releasing the tension that we're storing here in our hips. So whichever way you'd like to be doing it, just pause when you need a pause, and then go back to the strengthening movement when you're ready. And we'll finish up now, just lowering yourself back onto the mat or back to your center position if you're on a chair. And just stretch yourself so that you're just comfortable, having your hands either up for receiving or down for grounding. Or maybe you want to place them on your body, however you'd like to place your hands, however you'd like to place your body. Just ensuring that you are as comfortable as you possibly can be. So for anyone who's seated, you might like to hold on to a cushion just for a little bit of extra support. Or maybe you're using a cushion for your head. We're just going to do a little guided visualization now. So just settling yourself into your space. And just allowing yourself to relax into the surface beneath you as you relax a little deeper into your body. Maybe noticing how the surface beneath you provides support to your body, and noticing how that support feels as your body settles into this moment, into this stillness. Perhaps you're able to notice your surroundings, maybe tuning into the sounds that you can hear nearby. Or perhaps your attention is drawn towards the different tones in my voice. Or maybe your focus is going inward. Perhaps your attention is drawn deep down into your body, noticing some of those internal sensations that are happening deep inside of you. Perhaps you're choosing to focus on your heartbeat and noticing how it feels in your chest. Maybe you're unconsciously aware of the movement of blood throughout your body as your heart steadily beats. Or your attention might be drawn more towards the way your lungs instinctively know when to take in air and when to let the air go. Or perhaps you're choosing to notice how you're able to let go of thoughts, how you're able to detach from any thought that arises, simply witnessing as you allow it to float through your mind. Just letting each one go. And as you settle deeper into your body and settle deeper into the space where your body sits, I invite you to give yourself full permission to be exactly who you are and to be exactly where you are right now. And having given yourself this permission, perhaps you're noticing how now you're able to relax even deeper, allowing your body to release tension, noticing your facial muscles relaxing further, noticing how your body is able to fully relax and let go of anything that isn't comfort and ease. And there's no rush, no hurry here, just the sensation of stillness and ease, like the moment just before dawn when the world is quiet and the earth itself takes a breath. And you might notice how your body begins to feel a little heavier with each breath, almost as if it's settling deeper into the surface beneath you, as though it's finding a new, comfortable foundation. And maybe in your mind's eye, you can imagine what that foundation might look like for you. Perhaps it's solid, steady, strong, like the very bedrock of the earth. And now, as we continue this journey inward, I invite you to imagine yourself standing on that rock. Not the rough kind that feels unstable beneath your feet, but something solid, something that supports you fully, a place where rebuilding begins. And now, as you settle deeper into this feeling of being supported by the solid rock surface beneath your feet, you might notice how when you first stepped upon it, the rock might have felt cold. Yet over time, your own body warmth begins to heat up the rock beneath you. And you might consider how many other people have stood here on this same rock before you. How many people have been exactly where you are, taking a quiet moment to consider how best to move forward in their life. It may have taken some time to get to this place, to find this solid, strong, unmoving rock on which to stand and catch your breath. Maybe you've been through storms, winds, and torrents of rain. Sometimes life does that. It strips away everything we once clung to, leaving behind what feels like the bare bones, or perhaps it even feels like an emptiness. And yet here you are, standing on something deeper than the surface. A rock bottom that in its own way has become the foundation stone of something new. And from my experience, rock bottom is actually the best place on which to build the strongest, sturdiest foundations. As someone who has spiraled my way down to rock bottom a few times over and come back each time, I can assure you that whilst painful, the lessons you learn about yourself along the way are invaluable. And the process strengthens you when you are intentional with your rebuild. And each rock bottom of mine has been different, and each rebuild required a different method, different building materials, and a different design. I needed to do it a few times by trial and error because I didn't have a builder to teach me, so I had to learn it all myself. But that led me to my purpose and my passion, facilitating sessions just like this one to help others to rebuild from their rock bottom, to help others find their pathway forward. And so maybe you're at your rock bottom right now, or perhaps you're on some other section of terrain along your journey. And maybe you've felt moments of frustration, even despair, like the landscape around you had crumbled, and yet here you are. And that's the thing about hitting what feels like the bottom. When you're there, there's an opportunity for clarity. You see everything that no longer serves you, everything that was taken or perhaps given up in that fall. But now you can look around and decide with full awareness what to bring with you as you rebuild and what to leave behind. So imagine this moment as if you were standing before a vast open space. There's nothing you have to carry anymore. You can let it all go. And as you let go, you can allow space for the feeling of liberation from all that was and no longer has to be. So I invite you to imagine now in your mind's eye that vast, empty landscape before you. This is where your foundation lies. The foundation that was formed in the deepest, hardest moments, but that foundation is yours. You've seen the things that didn't work, like watching the walls of an unsturdy house crumble to the ground. Now, instead of dwelling on the wreckage, you can take a deep breath and begin to rebuild carefully and intentionally. You are the architect of this space now, and this new design of yours will be better than any other you've created because you know what doesn't work, what doesn't serve you, because you've already lived through that. So imagine yourself as a skilled builder, not hasty, but thoughtful, laying down each new brick of yourself with care and with purpose. And with every new choice, you can see the shape of something stronger, something more aligned with who you truly are. And you can consider it as though you're crafting your ideal dream home, not just any home, but one built with intention. The walls are designed to let in the right amount of light, the windows positioned to offer the best views, and the rooms arranged in a way that brings a sense of flow and ease. And you might even hear the sound of your own footsteps as you move through this new space you are creating. Each step intentional, each choice deliberate. This is your second chance. This is you 2.0. You know now with every fibre of your being what doesn't belong here. And because of that, you also know exactly what you do want. What you choose to build into this life, into this new life, is up to you. It's like planting only the seeds of the most vibrant, beautiful flowers in the most fertile soil. You decide what colours, what textures, what experiences. You decide what thoughts to nurture and what to let fall away, like leaves in the autumn, letting go so that something new can grow. And as you continue to create this new build on this solid foundation, imagine for a moment the old build. Perhaps imagining it as though it was built using stones that had been passed down through generations. Heavy, solid stones. But they were a bit mismatched. And you'd laid them in the ways that you'd watched other family members do it. Maybe taking on the ways of friends and colleagues around you as you went, not necessarily skilled builders themselves. And you lived with gaps in the stone walls. Maybe icy winds would blow in, maybe heat would escape. And when you tried to extend and renovate, adding more of those heavy stones, you noticed the old stones would shift and the walls would threaten to crumble. And eventually they did. And so now you stand on that big solid rock beneath you, looking at all the heavy stones of the past. Perhaps those stones were tied to beliefs that no longer serve you or expectations that weighed you down. So take a moment in your mind's eye to hold one of those stones. Feel its weight as you do, and recognize that it belongs to the past. It doesn't need to come with you into the future. You can place it gently down on the ground, leaving it behind, knowing that your journey forward is lighter and clearer. Knowing that now you get to decide the building materials you will use this time round. You get to research them, to go and get samples, to test them out, to learn how to best use them in your build. You get to decide. And with each of those old stones you place down out of the way of your new build, notice how your body can feel just a little bit lighter. The weight lifting, the burden easing. You are free to move forward now, and you're choosing to only take with you the things that will serve your new life and your new self. And perhaps now, as you gaze over the landscape of your mind, you can see that this rock bottom wasn't a place of endings, but of beginnings. Just like the tallest trees begin with tiny seeds in the most challenging soil, you too are creating something strong and something resilient. From this place of rock bottom, you are able to consciously construct your life by design. And yes, it will take time. And yes, you will likely make mistakes. But at least you're building forward now. This time, your growth is conscious. This time, you know exactly what you need and what you don't. You know exactly what nourishes you and what depletes you. And as you build and grow, you're shaping yourself into something even more aligned with your highest potential and something that reflects your truest self. And every choice you make moving forward is an opportunity to take back control. You know where you've been, and because of that, you now have a clearer idea of where you want to go. With each breath, each step forward, you are rebuilding a life that reflects your values, your desires, and your truth. And with that awareness comes the opportunity for a deep sense of peace, of certainty, knowing that each choice you make is yours. You are the architect, the builder, and the gardener of your own life. As you step forward into this new rebuilding phase, feel the strength of the foundation beneath you, the foundation you created from the hardest moments. And notice how steady it feels, how reliable. You may not know all the answers in this moment, and that's okay. The answers will come along the way. You have awareness and intention, and you have resilience and courage. So you have many things on your side. And you have the support of this healing community who are journeying by your side. Now, as you begin to bring your awareness back to the present, you can carry with you the sense of that strong foundation, knowing that even in the hardest times, you've found your way through, that you have already survived 100% of your hardest, most challenging days. And you can carry with you the knowing that you will find your way through this challenging moment too. And in your own time, you can begin to bring your attention back to the surface beneath you, the rhythm of your breath, knowing that when you're ready, you can open your eyes, feeling grounded, clear, and ready to continue this journey of rebuilding with intention, with purpose, and with strength. And if you're lying down, I invite you to remain exactly where you are and just stretch your body. You might like to raise your hands above your head and stretch out your legs. If you need some water, you can grab it. Wherever you are, whether you're seated or lying down, I invite you to just roll your wrists and your ankles for a moment. Maybe you'd like to bring your knees into your chest. Create a nice little self-hug here, maybe a little roll around as you process anything that came up for you and process anything that's settled for you. And anyone who's on a chair, just either bringing one knee up at a time or maybe taking your body forward, folding yourself over and creating a gentle little hug here. Just allowing yourself to hold and be held for a moment. And then when you're ready, we'll just lower our feet down. We're going to keep them meeting in the middle. Let your knees fall out either side. We're going to bring our arms up, opening either side as well, creating a nice big opening in the chest and in the hips. And we're just going to focus our attention on breathing deep into the core of us, breathing into our center, breathing into your belly through your nose, then letting it fill up your chest, and then allowing it to come out from your chest and out from your belly. And if you're seated, then recreating a similar position with your body. You might just have your legs open, or maybe you'd like to have your arms open, or maybe putting them behind you so your chest opens. But just breathing in a similar way, breathing into your belly and opening up your chest. And then allowing that breath to move out you from your chest and from your belly. And when you feel ready, I invite you to lengthen your body along the mat or just return to a comfortable seated position and close your eyes down. We're just going to do our tense and release exercise, so we'll focus our breath on one area. We'll focus on breathing in and tensing up one area. So we'll begin with our feet and our ankles. And you can follow along with me with my pace and rhythm of breath, or you can hold for less or more time. It's up to you. But we'll begin now focusing on tensing up your feet, your ankles, your toes, if you can curl them without cramping. And hold on to that breath. And just letting go of the breath and the tension all at once whenever it's right for you. Before focusing next from your ankles to your knees, deep breath in. And the next area of focus is from your knees to your buttocks. Breathing in nice and deep, tightening up this area. And next we'll focus on our stomach and lower back. Deep breath in. And next we'll focus on our chest and upper back. Breathing in nice and deep. Next, we'll focus on our neck and shoulders. Nice and deep breath. And next, we'll do our arms from fingertips to shoulders, both sides. Deep breath. And now we'll do our face and our head. Deep breath in. And now we'll do another one. It's up to you to decide where you'd like to focus your attention. Maybe a whole body, maybe a couple of areas, maybe just one. Your choice now. Deep breath in. And just relaxing, letting go. We're just going to take a few deep breaths here, either with your palms up to receive or palms down to ground. And just go back to our pendulum practice, just swinging back and forth at your own pace between the parts of you that feel tense or feel discomfort or pain, whatever word you'd like to place on it, however you'd like to describe it. And holding your attention on that place within your body until you feel you're ready to move from that place and find somewhere that has a neutral sensation or a pleasant sensation in the body, and hold your attention there. And just swinging back and forth between those places of tension or pain or discomfort and those places of peace or neutrality. Recognizing that you do get to choose where you focus, where you place your attention. And just practicing that choice. When you're ready, for those of you who are lying on the mat, I invite you to just gently roll yourself to one side and press yourself up off the mat. If you need to get some water, stay hydrated, Your cells need hydration for healing. And we'll just finish up with a little bit of tapping. We will begin on our belly, slightly cupped hands like we did in the beginning, tapping our way over the body. And as you do, maybe checking in with each part, seeing if you can remember how that part felt in the beginning. Not the beginning of time, but the beginning of the Zoom. And just compare it to now. Coming down to give me your biggest, cheesiest grin, happy seal, smile. Yeah. And tapping your way back up. Just noticing as you go over each part of you. Moving over the other arm. And coming down, building up that ridiculous happy seal energy for one last round of applause for us. Oh, yeah! And tapping your way back up. All the way up to give yourself a big pat on the back. And we'll move over our face in those gentle raindrops. Seeing if there's anything more to soften here. Could your expression soften just a little bit more? Excuse me. Gentle fists over your head, tapping, 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 or perhaps running your hands through your hair, whichever feels better. And tapping on your lower back before we tap our way down and back up. And just resting your hands back on your belly, closing your eyes down, taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and filling up your belly. Nice big sigh, exhaling that air out. And again, a few deep breaths in this way as you have another little check-in with how it feels to be you in your body in this moment. Truly witnessing what's happening for you, what's rising up, what's settling, what sensations you're feeling, what thoughts you're having. Absolutely no judgment here, just noticing what your true experience of this moment is like. And I invite you to bring one hand onto your diaphragm and one hand onto your chest. I'm going to finish up with 3 voos. So as we make this sound, I invite you to really feel into these sensations here where we've placed our hands, so the vibration that moves through the body and the way that your diaphragm expands and the way that your heart beats. Just really tune into these internal sensations as we make this sound that sends home that final signal to our nervous system that we are safe here. We are able to go into that rest and digest optimal healing state. I'm about to lose my voice, I can feel it. So give me 2 seconds. All right, my voo might sound a bit funny today, but let's give it a shot. Breathing in nice and deep. Voo. Breathing in again, nice and deep. One more. So I want to thank all of you for showing up for yourself in this way. For those of you who are watching the recording, thank you for doing this practice in your own time. And there will be a link in the comments if you wish to make a donation, but of course there is no need to. You're welcome to enjoy and practice along with these sessions at any stage, any time that you need them. I'll just end that recording now.